Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Flex and Reflex Sunday Sit Down. If this is the first time you're listening, or welcome back if you're a long time listener. This we go through and answer all the questions around health, fitness, wellness, strength training, cardio training, nutrition, mindset, wellness, everything to help you move from where you are to where it is that you want to be, and to just give you some insights of questions from others that may have been just niggling in the back of your mind. So let's generally take about 15, 20 minutes, something like that. So let's jump straight in. What's the most overlooked factor that sabotages people's body transformation, even when their training and nutrition are dialed in? Well, it comes back to really mindset. The mindset will determine everything. The mindset will get you up in the morning. It'll get you doing your pre-workout routine, getting to the gym, doing your workout, doing your cardio work, focusing on your food throughout the day, focusing on all of the things that are required to get the right amount of water in, your supplements, the right amount of sleep, and then getting up in the morning and doing it again. You're probably not strength training more than 3 times a week if you're following my protocols, but for overall wellness, different if you're an athlete or pushing for something else, but generally that's what I recommend. Then the hardest part is the consistency, getting all of those things. And so if I go back to the question, which said overlook factors that sabotage people's even when their training and nutrition are dialed in, it's like this is the hard part. How do you keep doing it? How do you keep showing up day after day after day to do these things? It's hard, right? It's hard to do those things, which is what I love about instilling these things as a healthy lifestyle rather than making them too extreme. Now, of course, you see a lot of stuff online and you see like IFBB pros and steroid users and big bulky guys, and you see some fitness models and stuff on there, and you think, wow, the reality is for a lot of these people, all they do is eat, sleep, and train to have that lifestyle. And look, let's face it, I've been doing what I do now in terms of my own health and wellness in business, doing this full time 16 years, but I want to have another life. I love it, but I want to have a life as well. So I get in, I do my training, and I get out. I focus on foods that I love. I focus on eating well. I focus on eating lean, in terms of not overeating and making sure that the macronutrients are right for me, getting the right amount of protein, everything, the right amount of plant-based food, not going super heavy on the high energy carbs like your rice, potatoes, breads, all that kind of stuff. And I do it consistently day after day after day. Now I've conditioned myself to be able to do this consistently, but this is the hardest part. Depending on where you're coming from and what it is that you're looking to achieve, it can become really, really hard. But if you focus on the things that you can do and it's for a healthy, sustainable lifestyle, not extreme stuff, then it becomes just part of who you are. And that's what I love about this. So it's really the mindset. Well, let's go to the next question. How do you coach clients through periods when motivation's gone, but the goal still matters? Well, again, guess what? Mindset. Right. So what I normally get people to do here, like if the motivation is gone, motivation will only take you so far. It's like a sunscreen. You get into the shower and wash it off and it's gone. Right? Motivation, I could be motivated right now. You're watching this episode right now. And you're like, yeah, man, I feel so pumped. I'm gonna go do this, go do this. 15 minutes later, you get a text message on your phone that completely throws you into a spin. And you're like, oh, all of a sudden, all of that motivation is gone. So, what we need is more what I like to call inspiration or aspiration, as Frank McKinney, who's a great guy I've connected with over in the US, an ultra marathon runner, incredible guy. Um, he talks about aspiration. Aspiration and to me, inspiration are like, what is up here? Like, what am I aiming for? Right. And then you find that metaphorically, that's pulling you towards that goal. Motivation is like, yeah, I need to be pumped to go and do something. But if you're inspired to do it, then that's completely different. Right. And so this is where if you're finding motivation is waning, it's a couple of reasons. One, you could be overtraining and it's just time to take a break. That happens to me sometimes. I'm like, yeah, if I'm not excited about getting into the gym and doing my workout, then I will immediately stop and say, all right, what's causing that? And is it lack of sleep? Is it like because I'm tired? Am I lacking the fuel, the energy because I haven't eaten right, or I'm training at a different time and not fueled properly, or is there something going on in my headspace that is preventing me from really being focused right now? And sometimes it means taking a week off. Sometimes it's 2 weeks. I wouldn't recommend more than 2 weeks unless you're injured or something, but that's normally it. And then I use the time when I'm on a break where I will use things to motivate me. Actually, I'm going to grab a couple of these to show you. Um, so I used to love this one. Well, I still love the magazine, but they don't produce it anymore. This one here, Muscle and Fitness. So if you look at this one is out of I jump on eBay um and also on Marketplace, and I'll find people that are selling this stuff like this. I mean, you can tell by kind of the posing trunks and everything, but this one is 1997. Now, I'll go through some of these and I will just um, I will read them to get inspired by, like many things about health haven't changed. I mean, a lot of these magazines talk about different supplements and stuff, and it's really interesting well, I'll go through that one. I haven't read that one yet, and I will see what we're 28 years down the track. What were they talking about then, and what's relevant now? Imagine if you pick up something now and you imagine, oh, what's that like in 28 years into the future? Like that's pretty cool, right? But many of the things haven't changed, right? A dumbbell's still a dumbbell, a bar's still a bar, a bench is still a bench. They try and come up with all kinds of different types of equipment, but things don't necessarily change. Let me just open the page and see what I can find here. These are just articles about people. Let's see where they're. Okay, so here's a discount sports nutrition page. Actually, just out of interest, let's just see how much. Where can I find just a protein powder so I give you some idea as to how much it costs? Wow. Okay. So this is really interesting. So there's this particular one. It's a high well they're calling it a high definition like protein powder, and for 1.5 kilos. Normal retail price is $70 and they're selling it for 56. I literally just went down to the Chemist Warehouse here in Australia. I bought 2 kilos of my protein powder for $79, I think it was, 28 years later. And that's just a bit of an insight into how much the supplement industry has changed. Back then it was different. So they've got a home gym. I mean, the home gym kind of looks like a home gym that you would get now, right? I wonder how much this was. $299 plus $35 delivery. Oh, stop me from ordering right now. So anyway, sidebar. I use those things to help me get more inspired. I look at recipes, I look at workouts, that kind of stuff, just to give something to me. So normally I'll find it comes back to why did I get started to begin with? What is that aspirational, inspirational thing that I'm driving for? And now my goal now versus say 1997, I'd been training for 9 years up to that point. My goals were different 9 years ago. They were different when I first started. They're different now because the older I get, I find I focus more on my health and wellness. And so, therefore, doing the healthy things consistently every day is super important to me, making sure that I don't have days where I miss my supplements, where I miss making sure that I'm getting quality sleep. And you do your best efforts there, but it doesn't always work out. But making sure that I'm getting the right macronutrients in. It doesn't mean that I don't have the odd meal here and there, but the older I get, I need to make sure that I'm doubling down on feeding the brain, fueling the body. And why do I do that? I'm thinking up here. And that's the biggest problem for most people. They don't think big enough. Don't think about their why big enough. So that's my tip there. All right, oh, another sort of mindset one. What role does emotional regulation play in physical transformation, and how do you train it like a muscle? It's a good question. The more work I do with clients, the more excited I get about our psychology. What enables us to do certain things? What will drive one person to be terrified about something, say like stepping on stage and speaking in front of 2,500 people, versus someone like me that says, wow, that's awesome. Let's go. Shame we couldn't get 10 million people in here. Um, What's the difference? It's this exactly the same scenario, but why is one person terrified and wants to run away? And I'm like, yep, give me the microphone. Here we go. And that for me is about how you regulate your emotions around what particular events are happening in your life. Now, I have a podcast which is called the Mental Toughness and Body Show. I've taken myself from a place where mental toughness was my greatest weakness to now it is my greatest strength. And that has come through a lot of practice, a lot of hard knocks, a lot of being kicked down. I say kicked in the nuts and punched in the heart so many times in life that you become resilient to what it is that you're being presented with. But along that journey to move through things, you develop, well, I've found anyway, I've developed a skill set. And it's not just saying, yeah, I'm tough for the sake of being tough when you're really breaking on the inside. It's like you're able to process these things. And the way that I like them, because the question was, how do you train it like a muscle? I like to think of it about like this. Imagine that you're in front of the situation, you're feeling it, you're feeling this emotion, whatever it is. And I like to say that you've got three different opportunities here. You can say, all right, refuse to answer these things negatively. And you say, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? And what is the opportunity in this? And refuse to be negative. So you have to answer them in the positive. And that can even be, so like as I record these calls, I have my daughter here, Liv, right next to me. I have her ashes. And you could say, look, I've lost my daughter, right? And that brings tremendous heartbreak. And I have to ask myself those three questions. What what can I do with all of this? What's the opportunity? And for me, the opportunity was to help others, right? What can I learn from it? I can learn how to be more empathetic, how to be a better person. That's how I grow. Because of Live, I'm dedicating the rest of my life to become a better human, to grow as a better man, as a better dad, to teach other dads how to be better dads, how to teach parents to be better parents, how to raise more money in the for eating disorders and get laws changed, like the social media law changes, funding for more research into eating disorders and dog therapy programs and a whole range of different things that are really important to me. Now, that's only come out of asking those types of questions. So that's how you learn to train it like a muscle. There'll be things that happen to you probably every week, every day in some instances, depending on your life, where you can ask those three things. And trust me, I hold up like four fingers, three things, three. Um, as you practice with each thing, you'll find that actually this really works, right? And this helps you regulate your emotions better, helps you remove some of the emotion from a situation, just look at it from a slightly different angle. It's almost like you are advising a friend about something that they're being challenged with, which you have absolutely zero emotional energy in, right? Because it's not you, it's not your life, it's them. So you look at it differently. When it's you and you're feeling it, and you're feeling like you're being crushed in a vice or whatever, then you tighten up and you feel things just differently. So that would be the three tools that I would get you to use. All right, second last question. What's the most powerful mindset reframe you've used personally to stay in top 1% of health over time? All mindset related today. Or at least I'm bringing them back to mindset. Okay, the most powerful mindset reframe I've personally used. I would say that's comes back to what I hinted at before, changing my definition of health. When I first started, it was all about my body. I wanted big muscles. I wanted to just be bigger. I wanted to put on slabs of muscle on my body. And don't know exactly when it was. It's probably captured in a podcast somewhere, but 3 to 5 years ago, I will say that I started to just reflect on it differently. And it was still about my body. I have this little thing that I say to myself about wanting to look good naked. And what that means is, apart from the obvious, I know if I see myself in the mirror naked and I'm happy with what I see, then I know that I'm doing the work. If I'm not, it's like, where am I not doing the work? Am I not training hard enough? Am I not getting my food right? Am I not sleeping right? Is my mindset not right? Am I not training regularly enough? Like, what's going on? Are there other stresses in my life? And I work out how to break through those things so that that doesn't become an issue for me. But part of my process in training now is to be very clear about why I'm doing all this work. So I've defined my health very clearly and why it is that I train. I now have 50 reasons as to why it is that I train and why I do what I do. And a big one is about how I've defined health. And now I say, rather than just looking good naked, it's about energy. I want to have an abundant amount of energy, because if you think about everything that you would like to achieve in your life, that requires energy, right? I want to still achieve a lot. So that requires me to use a lot of energy to be able to do those things, because I have a very busy schedule, I have a very busy life. I've got to get my training in there as well, do all these other things. And then there's if this is kind of like the screen here is live, there's all these things outside of the of your normal life that people normally see, where you're actioning things like my daughter's legacy, for instance, the work that I'm doing there, work that you do with your family and so forth, the personal side of your life and how you manage that as well. There's just a lot that's going on. So for me, I need energy. I also want to be pain free. So that means, am I just going to do heavy lifts for the sake of lifting heavily? No, because I want to be pain free. I want to be injury free. So that's really important to me as well. I've also put focus into my definition of health as well, because you can have all the energy in the world, but if you're over here for a bit and then over here for a bit and then over here for a bit and over here for a bit, then you're not really building anything with clarity. So I want to say, all right, well, I'm focusing on this right now, and that's what I'm going to focus on. When I'm done here, I'm going to focus over here. When that's done, I'm going to focus over here. So that's really important as well. And then I've also put work ethic into my definition of health as well, because with those three things, energy, focus, and work ethic, well, let's go energy and focus. You can do that once and say, all right, I'm done. It's like going to the gym, doing the world's best workouts, you never return. The work ethic is, I'm going back and I'm doing it over and over and over again. And that's where I reign supreme compared to most people on the planet, because I am Mr. Consistency. I'm still yet to find somebody that's recorded more podcasts than me, which I'm up over 4,100 and something now across the two shows that I do, because I'm just relentless with it. Right. So for me, it's to answer the question again, it all comes back to my definition of health. That has been the single biggest change that I've made. And I've made it so big, hence the 50 reasons, so that I never ever stop. I'll never stop. So if you are the sort of person that, yeah, I'm in a, like we're in winter here at the moment, it's like a beautiful day today, but if you're a seasonal type trainer and it's like, well, I only train when it's warm and when I come out, it's much nicer and everything. You should be training hard all year round. And if you're not, then you need to have a reassessment of your definition of health. All right, last question. Let's see if this is a mindset one. In your opinion, what's the future of personal training and wellness, and how should people be preparing for it now? Yeah, all right. Well, I think I just did a video about, actually, no, I posted a comment on somebody's post, a friend of mine's today, and I was using the parallel with personal training. I can remember back, I was living at home, so it would have been in the, I don't know, late 1980s. I was still living with mum and dad. And the only person on the planet that I knew of that had a personal trainer was Madonna. And it seemed to be a space that was only reserved for the rich and famous. Nobody would, spend money on having someone train them. Now, what I see is that most people aren't seriously training unless they're using a trainer, because they've become so like either regimented in their life or lazy or whatever that they say, I'm not doing anything unless you tell me. You're right there. You're holding my hand. You're helping spot me for every single rep that I do. So now it's very, very common. However, the problem is certainly in my country here, and I'm sure it's the same around the world. Unfortunately, the qualification is very easy to get, and the standard, the professional standards, the ethics, the integrity of the industry, in my view, having been in it for 37 years, but doing it full time in my business for 16, is not great, and the whole industry needs to lift its game. I'm actually not affiliated with any fitness industry organization anymore because I haven't found one that I've found worthy of my membership or my subscriptions. And they just, I don't know, they just underdeliver in what it is that they do, in my view. So where's the future going? Well, if you look at, well, right here, I've got this device here. I see in the at the time of recording this and the on the iPhone, the latest iOS release coming up later this year, I think, is going to be a bit around health and fitness and stuff. Now you can buy things right now, like on like different Apple workouts and that kind of stuff. I don't know whether it's going to be free or there's going to be some stuff integrated in there. What was huge during COVID were things like the cardio machines that had the inbuilt trainer built into them. A couple of the ones that their names have just escaped me right now. Now I think Nordic was one of them. Oh, there was some ones that's just escaped my brain right now. But they were huge, and since COVID, they have plummeted, and I think some of them have even crashed in business because people are like, well, I don't want to do that. I don't need to do that now. Uh, the future, honestly, I can see a time and it's going to take someone like Google, Samsung, Apple to pick this up and say, do you know what? We're going to be able to take the phone, put the phone down, press a button or whatever, and I appear in front of them in lifelike form. It'll start with a smaller version, but then become lifelike as a hologram. And so I'm in the room and I'm doing the training with them, and maybe it's live, like me doing that with people. I mean, I do that now, but it's like screen to screen, but maybe we could do it via hologram. And yeah, I'm moving around with them in a room and doing that kind of stuff. I think that's a possibility. AI, we've not seen it as rapidly growing as it is right now, or had it in our hands at any time in history than we have over this past. Gee, I don't know how long I've had ChatGPT for, but maybe 12 months. And it's going to become more and more AI apps, AI whatever it's going to look like in the future is going to be something that is going to be massive into the future as well. Maybe it'll be a case of like ChatGPT knows me, and I'd say, okay, can you, based on what you know about me, can you create a workout for me today and give me this particular trainer that I want to be in the room as a hologram with me doing the exercise, showing me what to do, talking to me, motivating me, whether it's just an AI person. That's ironic, isn't it? An AI um, avatar that is in the room with me, having conversations, and but they're appearing as a hologram. They're walking around the room with me. I see that could be potentially the future. Like, how cool would that be? I find even now, like I go for a 5 kilometer walk every day, and I record 2 podcasts, and then I spend the last probably 20 minutes or so doing strategy work with AI, and I do my personal growth work with AI as well. Um, in the future, that AI person or avatar could be walking beside me as I'm doing it. Who knows? They could be fun. So honestly, that's how I see the future of it. I think there'll be more and more devices, people tinkering around the edges. I mean, we've had rings for a while, but I got a client that he wears the Aura ring, and that tracks a whole bunch of data. Data is powerful. I think we'll just get more and more data as far as our health goes. Like what the watch does at the moment, which just blows your mind. It's like it's really cool. It doesn't control my life, but it certainly gives me data around certain aspects of my life, which is really really helpful. I think as blood pressure becomes a thing of the future through devices to easily do it, apart from a blood pressure machine, I think that can be really helpful as well. I think if we could do some blood testing somehow through our devices over time, it'll happen eventually. Then that can help also give people a bit of an indication of like baseline health and maybe if they need to go see a physician. But as far as the training goes, I think everything that I've just said there, people will still keep designing new types of equipment and stuff, but you cannot beat flat benches, incline benches, decline benches, barbells, weights, dumbbells. They're the fundamentals. They will never disappear. Yes, there'll be some gyms that don't really have those things and they want machines in there, but it's those things. They may change the color of them, the shape of them, what they're made of, etc. But the bottom line is you got to lift the weights. You've got to lift the weights if you want to change your body. So that's the way I see the future going. So have a great day wherever you are. And thanks for all those questions today. Be strong. Send in your questions via the link in the video. Send me a DM and or email or whatever you like, and get your questions answered right here. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you next time.